Yo, what's up guys, Ixion here, and very welcome to my first episode of Tips and Tricks. As I said, I will have two separate series, one that's related to DJ things and another one related to general things. However, this first video will actually be a combined version. Oh, and by the way, if you consider yourself a beginner, don't be scared. This one is slightly advanced, but I'll make sure to do more beginner-friendly stuff in the future. Okay, quick to the point. In case you didn't know, one unique thing about Street Fighter 6 is that it lets you do EX moves and drive impact even if you have a tiny amount of bar left. For example, with this amount of bar, I can still do drive impact and I can still do EX fireball. But you will burn out doing it, of course. When it comes to drive rush and parry, the game is not as generous. If I have less than half of a drive gauge and try to drive rush or parry, this happens. To make it extra confusing, the game does however let you cancel into drive rush off normals when you have less than half a drive gauge. When you have less than half a drive gauge left. But it does not let you do it from neutral. However, with a little trick, you can still actually do drive rush in neutral with this amount of bar. Remember the Rashid update when they implemented a new way to do drive rush off normals? So instead of pressing forward, you could just press both mediums? When they implemented that, they also implemented another way to do drive rush. You can now cancel cancelable light normals into drive rush on whiff. Although it wasn't intended as a new way to do drive rush, but it was intended as a fix so that buffering light normals in footsies into drive rush wouldn't become too powerful. Now, this particular way of doing drive rush has a little quirk to it. If you have less than half of a drive gauge, you can actually still do drive rush using this technique. The one most obvious asset we have, thanks to this mechanic, is that we can do drive rush in neutral when we only have this little amount of bar left. Although I wouldn't really recommend you putting yourself in burnout if you're not killing your opponent. Unless your opponent will also be in burnout and you can chip them after. By the way, I'm sorry that I'm putting my head here all the time so you can barely see me. As you may know, DJ can do juggle combos such as this one. Now, in rare cases, we could put ourselves in the situation where we are doing the beginning of this combo, and then as we do the ending of it, we end up with less than half a drive gauge. So if I start this combo with this amount of bar, and then drive rush, my character just burns out. Because when I try the drive rush, I have less than half a drive gauge. Less than half a drive gauge. But that's what I'm doing the drive rush using the normal input. If we create the same scenario, but use the other trick to do drive rush, something else will happen. Oh. So does this mean that we can do the same combos anyway, just using this trick? No, not quite. Because the light normal that we are doing in the beginning takes a certain amount of frames to do, so we can't just do the exact same combos. Although sometimes we can, it totally depends on the combo. Simply put, we can do whatever we want, as long as the remaining time allows us to. We can't do the combo I showed you initially, because the frames from the light normal doesn't allow us to do a standing fierce in time. But, in the case of DJ, we can do this. Actually, we can even do this. This. So to summarize, using this little trick with a with light cancel into drive rush, we can still do some combos that we didn't think we could do. Oh, bless me. This video turned out way longer than I anticipated, so if you are still here, thanks a million, and make sure you subscribe to my... definitely follow me on Twitch, and I'll see you for the next tips and tricks video.
Hi FGC!